Week 15 in the NFL is here, and we're in our final stretches. The work continues on as it has all season long. We're going to keep doing it here for the to find the must plays of NFL Week 15. And we're going to dig in, look at projections from our friends over at Stochastic, see who the top plays are right now in the day, to see who the top value plays are as well. We'll check out the ownership, see who the chalk plays are looking like. Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua on the thumbnail. Probably going to be too highly owned, guys. We'll see who else is right there. We'll hop across the aisle, see what ETR has for us in terms of our cash game lineup for the week, along with any sims they have. We'll run some stochastic sims. I'll do a hand build. And by this video, guys, you'll know all the must plays for week 15. So let's get into it here. I hope it was a good showdown for you guys. Hope you guys ended up on the right side of Kyle Pitts' history after, I think that was some social media post I saw said that was the fourth biggest tight end scoring day ever in fantasy. So, that stuff's going to happen sometimes. We talked yesterday. I mean, I thought Kyle Pitts is a good play. I didn't think he was like gonna break fantasy football, break best ball potentially here kind of play, but that's the way it worked out. Stochastic also still having their tech issues. I am hoping they have backups because it has been a day, and I am not making affiliate money right now, to be real with you guys, because everything is down, so that's not great. But that said, we do have projections up here on their data hub, and if you are currently a paying customer, I actually don't know if you could join right now, but if you're currently a paying customer, their sim stuff is still up. You can still see their data, so keep that in mind if you're going through the same issues I am right now. And really, fingers crossed they get it resolved quickly. Your top projected players, though, we got Christian McCaffrey, number one, facing Tennessee here. The Niners, certainly a team that, against soft matchups, we feel better about McCaffrey than tough matchups because he's really not that efficient of a runner at this stage of his career, but the volume remains pretty crazy for him at 26.5 intended touches a game, 8.2 of which are still targets, and then 5.8 those intended touches are in the red zone. Crazy workload, 2.6 of those intended touches as well inside the 10-yard line. So McCaffrey really setup is good here if you do have him, any of those best ball formats as well. That said, for DFS this week, $9K salary, pretty expensive. With that projection, though, of 24.5 fantasy points, him and Puka Nacua, both guys around 9K. We'll see how much we get here, but certainly your two top projected players, if you could find ways to afford both in spots where they have, really valid merits for why you'd want to go to them. McCaffrey should be, on paper at least, a beatdown versus Tennessee, though. Tennessee pulled off the upset last week versus a Browns defense that should have eaten them alive, so full credit for Tennessee there. But then this spot here, you are talking about Niners being a 13-point favorite at home. So McCaffrey getting that work, likely running from ahead a little bit. I think there's a good shot of him scoring a touchdown, maybe two in this game. Nothing surprising there, obviously, but McCaffrey normally just a great PPR scam week to week. I think the price tag is reasonable enough in the matchup. Do expect him to actually get in the box this week once, if not twice. Puka Nacua at number two, massive point total going against Detroit here. 24.3 implied points for Puka Nacua. The Rams this week also one of the highest totals of the season with 30.8 implied points for their team. The Rams defense, or the Lions defense rather, for the Rams, pretty good defense. Surprised to see the total be that high. Obviously, the Rams have been great in a lot of situations this year, and I think the expectation is just that the Rams will have their foot to the pedal for the most part, having to put up a lot of points against a Lions team that is clearly, at this stage, not trending towards success they've had in recent years, but still a good enough offense that you have to put up points against. So for Puka Nacua, we saw him break out of the slump last week, got into the box as well, which is helpful when we have seen Davante Adams run so hot touchdowns this year. This week, man defense heavy matchup. Does seem like Puka Nacua should benefit from that. He's averaging 3.5 yards per out run versus man, and the Lions do play man, one of the highest marks in the league, 42% of the time. For comparison, Davante Adams versus man, only 1.3 yards per out run. He still can steal touchdowns away, but really should be less effective here than Puka Nacua. And, Puka Nacua, the biggest thing is that he played well last week, and certainly, having an outlier performance like that, the ownership probably chases a little bit, so maybe this week you do get lucky getting Davante Adams scoring multiple touchdowns. But a man defense heavy matchup, that's Puka Nacua town, and really Davante Adams so much better versus zone than man. 1.3 yards per out run versus man compared to 2.6 versus zone. He just can't create that separation at the stage of the game. Thank you for this. Got into the box last Sunday too, and then we got our GMs and Titans receivers sneaky comeback. I think you probably got the best of them last week, and even then, you're not really seeing fantasy highs. I don't really see it, but I am always an advocate of cheap QBs, cheap receivers. You can put them together. Titans really have not been on my radar a ton lately, though. Josh Allen, 22.8 projection for him, playing for the AFC East pole position, I guess, at this point. Though, honestly, standings-wise, AFC East standings. So I'm not clear on. All right, so 2 games back for the Bills right now, 9-4. Patriots 11-2. Patriots also won that first game, right? So they do hold the tiebreaker. I mean, Bills, I think, are pretty much going to make the playoffs no matter what. But if they want to win the East, they have to win this game. So win-loss stuff, not really a consideration too much for me in Week 15, but it's something to highlight here in a game that does feel like it matters a little bit more. For the Bills, you guys know at this point, I'm not the biggest Patriots believer. They've won 10 in a row, though, so what are we going to do? How many of those 10 games have been against absolute tomato can teams? 8, 7? That said here, one of those 10 wins was the Bills. So going to Josh Allen here, competitive spot. I still think there is a possibility we see the Drake May floor pop up a little bit more. Certainly come playoff time, that's the angle I'll be playing, so strap in, prepare accordingly for that. This week at home, New England a 1-point dog versus Buffalo. It's not the biggest cosign on New England here, but they should be competitive. All benefits Josh Allen here. The big thing for Josh Allen, once again, price tag at 7,500, a little bit high. Stack partners like we saw last week, hard to pin down. Anybody hitting enough upside to go in a stack with him. And then the James Cook, Josh Allen thing, people tried a lot last week. The projections were there as well, so it made it easier for people to get to. They just don't correlate positively in any real way. So Josh Allen, big issues here. Same thing as always. Who do you stack him up with? I don't trust anybody to put him with it on that level at any sort of ownership. But certainly he could put up 35 fantasy points here. But last week he put up, 38? Still lost to a Shador Sanders stack in some of the large field tournaments. That's sort of what you get from Josh Allen. Massive ceiling, but you can't put together the lineup around it that necessarily makes the most sense. Jahmyr Gibbs, same spot here in that Detroit Rams game. Should be a lot of scoring. I like Gibbs the most in spots where it is like completely inept defenses, because that's when you see Gibbs really break the upside. A few times this year, Giants game in particular recently, put out my full, hey, I would play 100% Gibbs kind of takes. For Gibbs going against the Rams, I don't quite feel that way. Certainly, Detroit can score against anybody. The Rams on the year, negative 0.05 EPA per rush. They don't miss a lot of tackles, which for Jahmyr Gibbs does add to the upside a little bit. Team like the Giants can't tackle anybody. Jahmyr Gibbs, explosive runs, he puts together. For here, I'm not crazy about Gibbs at this projection, and also 16% ownership. And actually, I should be referencing ownership as we go too, because it is right here for us on the same page as opposed to with the way we've been doing it normally. The stochastic site's working at full functionality. You have McCaffrey at 29% owned, Puka Nacua at 31%, Josh Allen unknown at 4%. So if you're going to play him this week, at least it's not super chalky. And then Jahmyr Gibbs at 16%. So Gibbs, look, 16% I think seems fair. If he were owned like McCaffrey, like Puka, I would not want to be there. But he is 8,800, cheaper than Christian McCaffrey. So I think the biggest thing he has going for him, he's a price point pivot. But the Rams matchup, I just don't see this being like Gibbs puts up 40 here. I honestly don't know the spot that I see Gibbs putting up 22.6 he's got projected. So Gibbs, okay ownership, okay play always, but not the spot for me. Seems like we're going to see some Josh Allen hero ball. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I agree. Never really trying to play naked QBs too much. The fact, though, that he is 4% owned, it's better than playing him last week where it's okay, they're going to get Josh Allen naturally. He's your cash game lineup, or at least, one of the top cash game options. He's going to be projected for a ton of ownership. And then also, then you have the field either playing him naked too, or trying to get some stack partners and likely ending up with a lot of duds around that. When Josh Allen is chalk, I don't think you want to play him. At 4%, must-win game if they want to win the AFC East. I think it makes a little more sense. JSN, 23% ownership here going against the Colts. Colts total this week is a disaster. 14.5 implied points for the Colts here. Seems like based on the beat reporters, it will be Phillip Rivers starting, though Riley Leonard has been a full participant in practice. So I guess theoretically they could, pull the old switcheroo there if they think Rivers can't actually go. But Seattle, 14-point favorite at home. A team that does want to run the ball if they can. Negative 7% pass rate over expectation, negative 8% in the red zone for the Seahawks. But we've seen JSN in these situations before. The Tennessee game comes to mind. The Titans did hang in that, get one a little bit better than I would have thought. You had JSN hitting a ceiling there, and I really wasn't confident that he would, because the game was mostly going to be in control for them throughout that. I think in this game, based on the total, I think the defense made most of the damage here. Still hard for me to trust JSN in those kind of game scripts. But he has hit it before. Fields at 23%. Would I rather play Puka Nacua? Yes, but so would the field. So going to a slightly lesser owned JSN at 23% owned. Not a bad move. Top projected guys behind these top five: Lamar Jackson going against Cincinnati, Matthew Stafford, and that stack spot against Detroit. Jalen Hurts, get well spot versus Vegas. Vegas plays a lot of zone, though, and that might be something that does make Jalen Hurts incompetent once again after it did last week. Actually, sort by value first before we sort by ownership. Your top value play is Marcus Mariota, 3.8x value for him. Facing a Giants team we know is not very good, and we have seen Marcus Mariota throw a lot when he has been playing for Jaden Daniels lately. That Broncos game had 50 pass attempts in that one, which really blew my mind. Versus the Giants, should be theoretically competitive enough. And the one thing for the Commanders, we've talked a lot going against the Giants, play any RB for the most part. They'll have the most explosive plays, the most opportunity they've had in any game, any matchup, really. Giants, I think, hanging in tight is the worst run defense in football still. But Commanders don't really have anybody who's going to do that right now. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, team is seemingly fallen out of love with. Chris Rodriguez banged up. I think he's been in practice, but still not really the kind of guy that's going to get you 20 touches and break a ton of explosive plays. You're not really going to want to get to that run game too much, so playing Mariota here, not a crazy move. 7% ownership for the field, and he might be our cash game QB. We'll see what ETR has for us when we hop over there in a minute. Jackson Dart, looking good against that Commanders defense that's also equally bad. If this were Jaden Daniels playing, and really, again, I haven't really been too invested in best ball because the injuries this year. I mentioned it on a stream earlier in the week. I had 4 teams in BBM that had no injuries throughout the entire year, no IR length or more injuries. It's brutal. Jaden playing this week would have been helpful. Justin Fields playing this week would have been really helpful. Both guys, though, are out. So for Jackson Dart and Marcus Mariota, not quite the potential gunslinger battle it would have been if Jaden Daniels were playing, but there's still enough here to expect some production. Dart, though, to me as a pass thrower, the stack partners with him just not the most reliable. You'll have Wandale, you'll have Theo Johnson. Slayton can theoretically hit, but it's ugly. The running backs also kind of ugly as well for the Giants. Mariota and Dart, really think this could have been very appealing to have this game environment as it is. I just don't trust it, and it seems like the ownership's going to be pretty heavy for these two guys as your top value guys on the slate right now. Lamar Jackson, number 3, going against Cincinnati. Did not go nuts on Thanksgiving, but certainly here, Lamar Jackson could do it again. Does seem like the Ravens looking a little bit more like how the Ravens should look, but at this point, I don't even know, what are they playing for, really? Let's see, NFL playoff odds, week 15. Let's see. Ravens. 33% chance to make the playoffs. They win this week, 45. So they can move up pretty meaningfully by winning. I mean, not that they weren't going to try, but the game does matter enough for them, even though the odds don't look great currently. So Lamar Jackson here beating up on a Bengals team that also had the weird thing this week of Joe Burrow, to throw back to a classic Shawn Michaels WWF reference, losing his smile. The Andrew Luck comparisons, more of your more recent NFL comp, but a weird situation with the Bengals. Lamar Jackson, Ravens, improving as it goes, seemingly getting a little bit healthier as well. Lamar's still not great on the year, but at 7% ownership, $6,400 salary. I think Lamar looks more appealing here, especially if the field's going to be getting to Mariota and Dart at similar amounts. CJ Stroud, another top option here, facing Arizona. Arizona certainly will keep dropping back, though they really should find the absolute floor against this Texans defense this week. Certainly the field's going to expect that as well. Stroud, 6% owned, did seemingly sync up with Nico the same way that Davis Mills was when he came back, so that's a positive for him. Just not sure the Cardinals can pull their weight on their side, but Stroud here, not a bad price tag, and if the Cardinals do hang in, I kind of think you'd want to force a bring back for a Stroud stack, but not a bad projection, not a bad price tag. And Sam Darnold at number 5 here, 18.5 projection, a 3.2x value. Once again, it's another week here where QBs are your top values. In fact, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my God. Top 11, 12 guys are all who are values are all QBs. And then you get Kenneth Walker, who has failed miserably for the field as a top value play multiple times. Continues to lose work to Charbonnet, and yet you continue to get fed him in the data by every provider out there. Kenneth Walker, your top non-QB value. Fields and I are doing some uncoupling in best ball. Never again. I would still play him again in another team, but he definitely looked the most broken this year, unfortunately, and that Yeah, that plus Garrett Wilson. We had the 1 week. We'll always have week 1 with that team looking good, but it's also just, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I just don't get how that went from that to what the season ended up for them. But that's best ball. Ownership here, top owned plays. So not a different screen, because we're on Stochastic here. And guys, show some love if you can. Honestly, for these videos right now, I'm not doing it for free, but it is kind of like for free. So like, because if I can't sign you guys up for Stochastic, it's just like a fractional amount of money. Literally, like, to be real, the guys, it's cost me a couple $100 each day they're down. So it's not awesome. So help me out. Hit the like button and subscribe here. It goes a long way for me here. Again, I'm showing you guys doing the work as best I can for the NFL, for the NBA as well, Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. And at the end of this video as well, we'll transition to a premium stream where I'll go game by game, breaking down all the advanced analytics, all the EPA stuff I swear by from Sports Info Solutions. You'll get that coming up here if you are a member of the channel. So stay tuned, but help me out. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's at least keep YouTube views afloat, even though I'm fucking working pro bono because Stochastic's tech issues linger on here. And again, it happens, but I really prefer to not have that be the case. Your top owned players, Puka Nacua, 31% ownership. We talked about him already. Looks really good to me. Woody Marks, no. Unless Nick Chubb is out, but Marks, Chubb, banged up. Has there been an update on Woody Marks? I believe he was limited yesterday. Not seeing him. If somebody in chat has anything. Practice Thursday, limited. So we'll see how it goes for Woody Marks. I still would never buy Woody Marks' chalk. Like I've said this enough times, and I know people got thrown off, much like Egbuka, same thing early in the year. They hit, worked out really well. For Woody Marks, just don't think he's that good. When he's chalk, I just don't think you want to play him. If Nick Chubb is out, I get it. Arizona, certainly not a great defense in any respect. The pass defense, I believe, is worse than the run defense. Yeah, negative 0.02 EPA per rush allowed by Arizona, 0.08 EPA per dropback, 0.09 EPA per pass. Woody Marks' role is fine, 2.8 red zone opportunities a game. He's not very efficient in the run game, still played really hot in the pass game to start the year, and hasn't quite lived up to that since. That's a really big projection for Woody Marks. I do not buy it. I will plant the flag right now that I would not be above the field on Woody Marks. And if they're going to be owning him at 30% plus, I need Nick Chubb to be out, number one, for me to be even close to that. Number two is he's just not that good. He's just not that good. And we've seen it enough times. And again, like, I get he broke a couple 50-yard touchdowns early in the year that really juked some box scores. But yeah, he's just not that guy at 30% owned. I think you want to be above on. So hold hands to the 29% ownership here that comes up. If Nick Chubb is out, if Nick Chubb is in, I would go way lower. But yeah, Woody Marks is just such a non-special talent, and people really got deceived. That's how I feel about that. And I say that again, as having watched his entire USC career, because only there 1 year. Having watched that, having seen the analytics as well, he graded out. He was also not a special athlete at the combine. Again, like, it's an offense where Joe Mixon was great. So, like, I said that, like, the one good case for Woody Marks to me was that, yeah, Joe Mixon was great in this offense. Woody Marks is probably Joe Mixon in terms of, like, not having a lot of juice, kind of just being a dude who's going to run, get what's there. But I just really, that's a lot for Woody Marks. Did it take Woody Marks 30 carries to get 70 yards? It can. Hope Woody is chalk. I mean, it seems like it's going to be the case. Scored 170 last night, and Showdown was 1,000th place. Yeah, that's how it goes when the slate's high scoring. But yeah, I had Kyle Pitts captain. I had Bucky. I had too much Bucky, man. Bucky really fucked me. Bucky losing by the way, something to keep in mind for next week. Sean Taylor took all those inside the 10 carries, like all of them. They took Bucky out, took Rashad White out. They kept Bucky and Rashad in the red zone, but that was a fucking disaster. But yeah, Bucky, this happens every slate on Showdowns, but I was a 2v2 away from the top lineup. I had Pitts captain. I had all the other good stuff. I had Baker, had Mike Evans, but I had Bucky in there instead of Bijan. I was trying to get cute there, and boy, oh boy, did that not work out. It was Bijan and Devin Culp, I believe, that won yesterday. Tough seed. Other top-owned plays here. McCaffrey, 29% ownership. Sure, McCaffrey, 29%. That works. Gotta imagine, though, based on these numbers, you'll get a lot of McCaffrey, Woody Marks lineups. So if nothing else, you want to play Woody Marks, play him with another pay-up RB, play him with not a pay-up RB. It's another way to get away from the field here. Or play McCaffrey with somebody who's not Woody Marks. I'd personally prefer that side. Good spot, again, versus Tennessee. Certainly, though, yeah, McCaffrey, He's not been great this year besides the volume, but the volume continues to be there, and it should be there, really in a good way. And even if the game is competitive somehow for Tennessee, McCaffrey still probably gets there just as much. Jamar Chase, 24% ownership here. It's a lot for Jamar Chase. T. Higgins banged up again. Believe is in concussion protocol again, but has been practicing through it. So maybe not serious concussion protocol, whatever. It's weird how there's like different levels of concussion protocol. It's hard to keep tabs on who's on what. That's it for Jamar Chase. Certainly it's been the case more recently where if Chase does not play well, you have a better shot of T. Higgins getting there. So that's that much Jamar Chase ownership. Ravens defense in the secondary is still not particularly good, even though I think people started to respect the Ravens prematurely a couple weeks ago. It's still holding steady at a not great EPA. Baltimore overall, giving up a 0.1 EPA per dropback, 0.11 EPA per pass. Not anywhere near as bad as the league bottom Bengals. We're giving up 0.22 EPA per dropback, 0.25 EPA per pass. Baltimore's still towards the bottom part of the league. So going to Jamar Chase, I have no issue with it besides the fact that it just feels like every week we go to Jamar Chase and he's not putting up outlier days. I don't want to be on the other side of like chalk Jamar Chase putting up 45, but at a certain point, do we have to keep playing Jamar Chase every single week at 25% ownership? I'm feeling like maybe not. JSN at 23%, much more expensive, or actually not even much more. $500 more expensive than Jamar Chase, but still certainly projects a little bit better. Less good value, though. I'd prefer JSN to Chase if you could get there. But both guys, fine enough play. Is really hard to critique them too much. Kenneth Walker, though, I'll critique. Woody Marks, I'll critique. Derrick Henry still sucks, but if the Ravens play well, he'll get there. Not in love with the chalk. Not in love with the chalk. Let's go to ETR. Let's see what we got here. Let me see if I'm still logged in correctly. All right. We are good. So let's see what the other side of the aisle has for us with ETR data. And let's touch the projection lightly here so we can run a cash game build. All right. You guys help me out again. Hit that like button, subscribe. This video not going to make as much money as I would like to. So your support goes a long way here. For the free versions of things, hit the like button, subscribe. Also join the Discord here. If you want to see the premium video coming up, you have to join the channel for $5. You get a premium video of my data sheet that I reference ad nauseum here, which includes a lot of key insights, especially this time of year. EPA metrics, very predictive with the sample size we have. So it's been part of my success here in recent weeks for NFL, but also for you guys out there just getting that perspective. Can be helpful, but if nothing else, support the show. $5 to do that. Join down below, and you'll get to see the video coming up at the end. Your cash game build, according to ETR data. CJ Stroud, cash game QB according to ETR. And he is, in fact, in 100% of these lineups. So, yeah, Stroud chalk. So Stroud, our cash game QB, rule of thumb is that we usually don't want to play the cash game QB in large field tournaments too much. But Stroud coming up here with Woody Marks. So, if nothing else, if you're really dead set on playing Stroud, at the very least, I think you're talking about adding on Nico Collins here, not playing Woody Marks with it as much. That probably is a way to handle that. But Stroud, Woody Marks, Christian McCaffrey in this cash game build. Jamar Chase, Mitch Tinsley. Do they have Higgins in the data set? They don't have T. Higgins in the data set. So right now, ETR is assuming Higgins doesn't play. I don't believe he's been officially ruled out, but he's been limited in the concussion protocol. With his second concussion of the year rather, and second in like 3 weeks too. So I think it's fair that ETR is assuming that he's not going to play, but it isn't confirmed yet. But that is why you're getting Jamar Chase and Mitchell Tinsley in. And actually, let me confirm. Stochastic did have Higgins in the data set. So that's not why Jamar Chase was chalk on Stochastic, but it is why Jamar Chase and Tinsley coming up a little bit more here in the cash game build. But Jamar Chase, Mitchell Tinsley, Puka Nacua, so you're getting two of your pay-up receivers and Christian McCaffrey as well. Harold Fannin at tight end, Theo Johnson, nice spot for him versus the Commanders defense that is so suspect, and Packers D as well. Yeah, I mean, look, McCaffrey, Puka, I get it. Jamar Chase, if you think T. Higgins is out, I get it even more. Fannin, though. Fannin chalk. Overall, the top 25 here, and the key part is that these players will probably pop up a lot based off ETR's projections. People are going to get, when playing ETR projections, going to get these players that are coming up all the time in the top 25, even more than they would possibly want. You're getting Christian McCaffrey here in 100% of these top 25 lineups. CJ Stroud also in 100% of these top 25 lineups. Mitchell Tinsley at number 3. He is in all of them as well. Woody Marks, same thing. Higgins just announced out. Like you're saying, Higgins is out like it's been out for fucking days. It just came out, but thank you for the update here. Higgins is out. So ETR fully updated then. Stochastic had Higgins in their data set, so Chase is going to come up in Stochastic data. Tinsley, I'm not sure if he'll become a top value for Stochastic, but here in ETR, he already is. But Mitchell Tinsley, I think a good cash game build. I would not load up on him for large field tournaments. I would say that. Overall here, we're getting Stroud and Woody Marks. We know that already. Game stacks here, Chase, Tinsley, and Isaiah Likely, and about a quarter of these top 25 optimal lineups. Team stacks here, you're getting at least 2 Texans and everything. You're also getting at least 2 Bengals and everything. So right away, if you want to play closer to like where the median projections are, max 1 Texan, max 1 Bengal could be the move. But I think for how this looks, that's a lot of 2 teams here that I'm not crazy about. Again, you get it with T. Higgins out, why Chase and Tinsley would come up so much. But that's a lot. All right, we're gonna. Actually, do we have a sim ready for ETR? We do have a sim ready. So let's pull in our game stacking here, giving boosts to pass catchers and opponents. Let's have some amount of uniques in. We got 3 uniques. Put variants on. We'll build 250. All right. Yeah, I didn't expect Stroud to be in every cash game lineup. I thought he had a shot being the cash game QB looking at Stochastic data. But Mariota, Dart, those guys seemed like they would have a good shot, I think, of making it. But it's all Stroud with ETR data. All Stroud, all Woody Marks. Really? Why? Let's look at Woody Marks' numbers real fast. While these lineups build, can we slander Woody Marks more? Woody Marks, young guy, right? A lot of juice. That's what we like from young running backs. They come in fresh legs. Woody Marks a 9% avoided tackle rate. Nick Chubb, who literally has Frankenstein corpse legs, 15% avoided tackle rate for Nick Chubb and run plays. For what it's worth, Woody Marks does avoid more tackles in the pass game. But come on, man. 9% avoided tackle rate and you're a rookie? It's a joke. That's Woody Marks for you. Negative 0.1 EPA per rush for Woody Marks as well. Again, pass game did have the nice spikes early on in the year, but still 0.36 EPA per target in the pass game. And I think that's one of the things people said before the season too, where it's like, oh, Woody Marks is going to be a good 3rd down back. Good, I think would have been a stretch based on how he played at USC. But like, he could have been a 3rd down back, sure. Catch some passes, get in there a little bit. Shouldn't be a 20 touch back. But he's your chalk, assuming Nick Chubb doesn't play. Do they have Chubb in? They do not have Chubb in ETR data. So if Chubb somehow makes it in, I don't know if he's been ruled out officially yet. Based on when I'm recording the show, because we do get, as happened with T. Higgins, we do get guys getting ruled out during the show. Think if Chubb's in, I hope this Woody Marks chalk goes away. For your guys' sake, because I'll be under on it no matter what. Marks doesn't have juice with the D-line next year. They need a better running back. Given the fact that the Texans were rolling a ride with Joe Mixon, and again, I drafted a lot of Joe Mixon in best ball because the opportunity was there for him. And frankly, if he had this run out this year with this defense, he would have been, I think, a very good running back. If he didn't get fucking experimental foot surgeries, whatever he did, I think we would have been a little bit better off. But that said, like, with this year, Woody Marks or Nick Chubb should have had like really good results, I think, and they haven't. In fact, Woody Marks' only good results are like insane amounts of volume or really fluky plays propping up a really mediocre showing overall. And explosive plays are part of the game. Like, I get it, but just nothing special. Nothing special. And I think those are the guys too. When you know that a guy's nothing special and the field doesn't, I think it's an advantage. So that's probably why I'm beating the drum a little bit more. Mixon and I both. This feels like a Robert Griffin III chat. And Nolan, you and him have been hanging out too much. Mixon and I both love experimental foot stuff. There we go. Fucking Mixon though, man. And then when him and his agent pushed back, like, "Oh, we're not done for the year." What the fuck, man? It's week 15 now. Unbelievable. As of 40 minutes ago, Chubb was working with trainers on the side of practice where injured players do work. All right. So look, I mean, again, I get it in the data. Get why Woody Marks comes up. Play Dario Ngubawale. That's how I feel about it. No. Don't play Dario Ngubawale, but like that would have been more fun to me. Like get Marks and Chubb out. Play Dario. At least he's a mystery box to some extent. It's never gotten the volume. Woody Marks has gotten the volume. Everywhere he's been, he's gotten the volume, and that's his only skill. But you're and that's enough Woody Marks slander for today. Again, I never beat up on USC guys here. I usually think they have merits. Woody Marks, the only USC guy. I just fucking shit all over him. Matthew Stafford here in the top ROI lineup. Christian McCaffrey. Who wants to go back to Kenneth Walker? ETR does. Mitchell Tinsley makes it. Puka Nacua makes it. Devontae Adams. So we're getting our double stack here. Premium double, saving some money with Walker and Tinsley to get there. Isaiah Likely. Loose correlation here with the Bengals stuff. Mike Gesicki makes it. So fading Jamar Chase. Playing cheap Mitchell Tinsley. Playing somewhat cheap Mike Gesicki. And Commanders D against Jackson Dart. I can live with that. Number 2, another Stafford double. Stafford, Tyrone Tracy. And this one's got a much lower ROI. That other one had over 1,000% ROI. This one's 700. But Matthew Stafford stacks your 2 top ROI lineups according to ETR. Stafford, Tyrone Tracy, Christian McCaffrey, Mitchell Tinsley again, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Theo Johnson, Gesicki again, and Saints D makes it. Okay. Sure. Number 3 ROI lineup. Stroud, our cash game QB, Woody Marks. But you are adding on top of that with Nico Collins. Kenneth Walker makes it again. Puka Nacua, Christian Watson, Isaiah Likely, George Kittle, Jaguars D. I mean, Watson's been going nuts against the Broncos. You are asking a lot. Nico stacked with Stroud, sure. If you're going to play the cash game QB, I think you play Nico over Woody. Number 4 ROI lineup is another Stafford. Stafford, Woody Marks, Singletary makes this one. So you got one Tracy, one Singletary. They have been, and pretty much a dead even share. Last week, Singletary, or last time out, Singletary, 28 snaps. Tyrone Tracy, you got banged up in that game. He played 27. Then they had the bye. Tracy should be full health. Really could go either way. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams here with this double again. Amon-Ra St. Brown is our bring back for the Rams Detroit stuff. Isaiah Likely makes it again. Colby Parkinson makes it a Rams triple. And Raiders D makes this one in the, boy, if the fucking Eagles shit the bed versus the Raiders at home, that is something. And then number 5, another Stroud lineup. So all Stroud and Stafford up top in ETR sim. CJ Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker again. Fuck that. Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, Puka Nacua again. Sure. Mark Andrews, Dalton Schultz, triple stack of Texans. Saints D makes it as well. What's the Adams anytime touchdown? Let's see. We didn't give it away here. I'll check Gambly. Gambly's usually my go-to here, the AI gambling chat bot that I am confident is not making money. So what I know of my probability days, but it's a good tool. Devontae Adams anytime TD. Let's see who can get it first. All right, the Gambly got it here. This is Gambly, if you're not familiar, an AI search tool for bets. It's good for that, but you know. Yeah, minus 179 is crazy. Sleeper fucking ripping you off, ripping off the idiots playing redraft who then go, yeah, I'll gamble on this app. Jesus, minus 217 there. But minus 185 DraftKings, minus 180. Underdog, less of a ripoff than usual, I guess. Good for them. Man, that's sleeper line. Don't gamble on sleeper. If I've never looked at a pick 'em on sleeper in my life, but I can tell you, looking at that one bet, holy shit, they were taking advantage of simpletons on there. Top ROI players overall. Devin Singletary, 542% ROI, but he's barely in lineups. So basically, when he hits, he wins you all the money like he did on that lineup that Stafford had stacked up around him. Number 2, Davis Allen. In terms of your Rams tight ends, Davis Allen played 50 snaps last week. Parkinson played 48. So a lot of 2 tight end last week for the Rams. Ferguson played 45. What the fuck were they doing last week? That's it. Oh, underdog's a prediction side, of course. That's, yes, the mentioned markets, all credible stuff, I'm sure. What did I didn't watch enough of that Rams game, I guess. The only stuff I saw was like Puka playing well. I didn't catch them playing 3 tight ends for 50 snaps. How much did the receivers play? Puka played 31. Devontae played. Oh, it's because of all the running they did in that game. That makes sense. That's crazy, though. The tight ends played like 20 snaps each more than the receivers. Very specific game script situation, obviously. Okay. But Davis Allen played a lot. Probably doesn't mean anything. I guess would be the key takeaway there. Rashid Shaheed at number 3, barely getting played, but a 315% ROI. Cardinals D, barely getting played as well. 1% exposure, but a 311% ROI. And Matt Collins, barely getting played, but a 266% ROI. Certainly, if you want to go to a Patriots stack, Matt Collins is a person you could stack. Isaiah Likely, in terms of high-owned players, he's your highest ROI guy. Devontae Adams behind him. Stafford, Puka Nacua. Really no surprises based on what we saw. All right, let's run a sim on Stochastic next. Next stage of our journey here. Let's go classic. Here we go. Main slate, 10K. Projections, obviously, as we talked about, we'll still have T. Higgins in, so keep that in mind. But everything else, hopefully it's caught up as can be. But guys, help me out. Hit that like button and subscribe here. Again, these videos, mostly pro bono work because I can't convert you guys to Stochastic affiliate signups. That said, it does go a long way here building this YouTube channel up. We passed 5K subs, which is mostly a vanity metric, but I would like to keep the views growing steadily as it has been. These must-play videos weekly getting over 2K views, which is nice for me. So let's keep hitting that like button, subscribing here. It helps me out a bunch here. Just one dude showing you my gambling. Monday, Thursday for the showdown slates, Friday for the main slate for NFL, and Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. for the NBA on the @SplashPlayBets channel. So check that out too. Today, $8 tournament on DraftKings. So I'll be plunking in some money on that today. And in case Stochastic is up over the weekend, I guess, link down below for Stochastic, promo code SPLASH. When the site is working correctly and people can sign up, you get 15% off with that promo code SPLASH, so check it out. And of course, if you want to see the premium video, going game by game with the best advanced analytics in the biz, Sports Info Solutions, really love their product and have loved it for years. You can check me out here going live in a moment by joining for $5. I would recommend joining on desktop. You can join through iOS as well if you want, but join here, $5 to join. And you can get a premium video and my data sheet every week. In addition to just supporting the show, getting cool gifts, emojis, nude eggs, things like this I've added recently. This is how I feel about Woody Marks. This is how I feel about Marshawn Lloyd. But that's, so, you know, you want to weight me accordingly. Marshawn Lloyd, though, at least is practicing, right? So we got that going for us. He might give us 1 point before best ball season ends. Your top ROI lineups according to Stochastic data here. We got Patrick Mahomes at number 1. Woody Marks, Kenneth Walker, Puka Nacua, Chris Olave, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Commanders D. Stochastic steadfastly has loved Chiefs stacks this entire year, and that continues to be the case despite a tough matchup and really a tough total going against the Chargers as well. That game this week for KC, 23.5 implied points. Overall, the game of 41.5 total. Not really looking like a shootout on paper for Chiefs and Chargers. And thank you for Consigliere here. Spags, the only content creator synthesizing the SIS data that top analysts use for their content. True hero of the people. That's true. That's true. I know Hayden Winks uses it too, but I don't know. Probably not the same way as I do. Number 2 ROI lineup here according to Stochastic. Patrick Mahomes, Woody Marks, Kenneth Walker, yet again, unbelievable. Puka Nacua, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Theo Johnson, George Kittle, Saints D. Game's going to be -5 to -15. That's certainly going to help the total stay low on paper. Number 3, Lamar Jackson, Travis Etienne, Woody Marks, JSN, Zay Flowers. John Mechie makes this one. Got no Mason Taylor, which I don't think is actually in Stochastic data. Brady Cook was throwing catchable balls at a high rate, but was really bad playing QB for the Jets last week, so I don't know that I'd go to Mechie. The Mechie here, likely George Kittle, Bears D in this Lamar lineup. Baltimore double. Number 4, another Baltimore stack. We got Lamar, Woody Marks, Kenneth Walker. Oh, 2 of my faves. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zay Flowers, Tet McMillan, Harold Fannin, George Kittle, Packers D. At number 5, we have a single stack with Mariota. Mariota, McCaffrey, Woody Marks, A.J. Brown, Chris Olave, Terry McLaurin. Mariota and McLaurin have shown a bit of a connection on their limited time playing together. Harold Fannin, George Kittle, Saints D. These were lineups. Highest ROI players. We got Kenneth Walker, 22% ROI. Mariota, 14% ROI at number 2. Terry McLaurin, number 3, also a 14% ROI. So that Mariota McLaurin stack might come up a little bit more for stochastic users than it seemed like they would for ETR. Jackson Dart, 11% ROI. Titans D at number 5, the 10%. And just outside the top 5, Chris Olave, Saints D, Lamar Jackson, Giants D, A.D. Mitchell, Isaiah Likely, A.J. Barner, Woody Marks. All these guys have positive ROIs. Sims love feeding us 8 to 10 point RBs. I mean, it's mostly, I think that Walker is just way too cheap. And I get it based on any sort of longer term sample size, but like the role is just not there for him this year. And if the data is going to keep giving you to him, like, I think you have to play some amount, but definitely don't want to get a bunch. Like I will say last week, as I mentioned on some of the NBA videos, part of my success recently in NBA DFS, which you can hear about in the NBA shows, won first place this week in the 20 max, is using SaberSim. I've been using my projections for NBA on SaberSim. For NFL, I've been playing with it too. What I did last week for NFL is I used ETR projections, stochastic projections, and SaberSim. So just took an average of the 3 because I wanted to see, and ownership too. I just wanted to see how that worked. And what happened was I got an endless amount of Kenneth Walker. And I was like, look, if I'm paying for this product and I want to see how it works, because I'm testing it out where if I could launch a partnership with them too and show them to you guys and I could vouch for it being a good tool, I would like to do that. So that's sort of part of my thought process here, in addition to just wanting to change up my own NBA process a little bit because I felt like my projections were working, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. But basically, point being, using industry average or projections, I got Kenneth Walker in like 33% of lineups, and I was like, well, all right, I guess I'm just going to play it as it is. And I saw it in every lineup, and there were a few I had that were not bad last week, didn't get killed by Tyrod getting hurt and whatever. And I was like, holy fucking shit, how did Kenneth Walker get in everywhere? It's because every industry like projection is going to like Walker because they all default to longer term sample size, as they should. And Walker was once a good running back with a good role. But this year he doesn't have that, and he's still good, but he might spike this week and pay off, for whatever amount of people that keep chasing that data. But like in reality, he's just not the guy that I think the data for stochastic, for ETR, for SaberSim, like they all think he's this guy, and he's not that guy anymore. And this offense and how he's being used. Your top, but that's me trying to explain it, but hopefully that adds some value. If it doesn't, sorry. Your top QB stacks here. Mariota in a single, 22% ROI. Your highest ROI player, Jackson Dart, 6% ROI. Lamar at 3%. Everybody else is negative. So those guys in a single all look like valid plays. QB double stacks. You have Jackson Dart, 21% ROI at number 1. Mahomes a double stack at 12%. He's at number 2. Lamar right behind him, number 12% ROI. Tyler Shuck, 10%. Marcus Mariota, 10% as well. Positive regression, he should score. I mean, he shouldn't score because he's not getting red zone work or goal line work. It all goes to Charbonnet. It's like, again, it was like what happened with fucking Tucker yesterday, where I was like, once I saw that Tucker was getting all the inside the 10-yard line carries, I was like, oh, fuck. Because like that means that Bucky has to break one from 20 yards out to get a touchdown. Has to break one from 50 yards out. And yeah, Walker can do that. But like if you're not going to get even a 50-50 crack at the goal line work, you're going to have a much lower chance of hitting. So, and that wasn't the case in previous years. So that's part of it too. Like the longer term sample, the positive regression you're looking for doesn't exist in the same role. Like the role's not there. Tyler Shuck, 29% ROI in a QB triple stack. Sam Darnold, 24%. And Shuck, for what it's worth, did get there through running mostly last week, but you'd expect him if he did hit his ceiling to get there with Olave, with Juwan Johnson, with Vele. Jackson Dart, 19% ROI in a QB triple. Lamar Jackson, 18% ROI in a triple stack. And Jalen Hurts, slightly positive ROI here in a QB triple stack. Highest exposures overall. Kenneth Walker's at 79%. No, just don't do it. I don't care. He could stay at 5,500 all fucking year. Play him. If you really want to go nuts, 33%, you'll get enough Walker. 80% Kenneth Walker is like your financial advisor going, yeah, put it on black. Like, yeah. Oh, thank you for your 401k. Here's my advice for the new year. No, just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'll die on that hill. Puka Nacua, 54% exposure, Fields 32. Sure. You want to go above on Puka? That's that. Trust the Sims to some extent. I think you trust the Sims a little bit less with chalk RBs. I trust the Sims when they're giving you random player like way too much because it means their salary plus projection just like means a lot to how lineups come together. When they're feeding you Kenneth Walker and Woody Marks at fucking 80%, I think you can go, don't trust the Sim quite as much. Trust it a little bit less than it trusts itself. Woody Marks, 30% ownership for the field. Stochastic wants to get 51, so you're going to get a ton of Walker plus Woody Marks lineups. I get that it allows you to get the spike week guys around it, the guys who will put up massive upside. If these guys both give you 10 this week, don't come crying to me. George Kittle, 34% exposure, Fields at 16. Terry McLaurin, 30% exposure, Fields at 9. Giants defense sucks, I get it. Highest leverage guys, Kenneth Walker, 60% more in the field. Yup. Puka Nacua, 22% more in the field. Okay. Terry McLaurin, 21% more in the field. Okay, see, I'm not critiquing everybody. Woody Marks, 20% more in the field. Here's what I think of that. I got just the gift for it. Here's what happens when you play fucking Woody Marks and Kenneth Walker together come Sunday. Oh, it's a chunky. Here's what happens when you don't play Kenneth Walker and Woody Marks. Oh, yeah, look at these lineups. Oh, I didn't play the chalk. It sucks. George Kittle, 18% more in the field. We said that already. Lamar, pretty close to Kittle in terms of leverage. Mariota, pretty close as well. You're getting Mariota in about a quarter of your lineups, so noteworthy stand on Mariota here. Negative leverage plays, Jamar Chase, negative 12% leverage. Pretty big fade on him, only 13% exposure, Fields at 25. Christian McCaffrey, a little bit of a fade on him, negative 9% leverage, only 19% exposure, Fields at 28. Tyrone Tracy, negative 8% leverage, barely playing him. So a little bit of a discrepancy there with ETR. CJ Stroud, negative 8% leverage, only 3% exposure, Fields 11. I support that generally with your cash game QB. Fade them usually most weeks. Ashton Jency here at number 5. Negative 8% leverage for him, only 1% exposure. The Fields at 9. Yeah, I get that. Let's do a single lineup sim. Last stage of our journey here. Then we will be going to the premium stream. Actually, let me boot that up. So you guys get a timer. Guys, before we do this hand build, one more ask. I guess, well, not one more, but another. Hit the like button, subscribe here. I will try to just give you guys my takes as best I can here every week. That is my promise to you. And look, if Woody Marks and Kenneth Walker smash the slate, look, you heard me vocalize my disapproval, and then you saw what the data says. So follow your heart. Ultimately, feel free to default to the company that's made people millions of dollars, including this year, multiple Million Maker winners with Stochastic. That said, they're costing me affiliate money right now. And also, I just don't agree with those stances on Kenneth Walker and on Woody Marks. So that's me. A members only stream coming up in 5 minutes. So join the channel if you want to see that come up here and you want to see more about why I do not approve of those two guys in particular. All right. We got our lineup here. Create new lineup. Who would I even go with at this point? Not a week for me with the cheap QBs as much. And I don't want to play these dumpster fire RBs and just give the sim what it wants. I know that. I'm going to go with McCaffrey. Right away, I feel good about his range of outcomes. I'm going to need to save money somewhere. I'm going to go with the Zay and Lamar. I feel like that stack did not pay off in large field Thanksgiving slates. But I still feel good enough about it going against the Bengals. And we did see the single stack with Lamar have a positive ROI. So we might be okay. Josh Jacobs in the data set right now. He might not be playing. So you might get another, what the fuck's his name? Emmanuel Wilson. I was thinking Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Wilson game here, but it's against the Broncos, so not really the spot you want to go to. But keep that in mind. Anybody? I feel like ATN versus the Jets, I wouldn't mind. 6,500 is kind of pricey, though. But let's just get away from the 5K tier that the Sims like a lot and see what we can do. Wandale. Jackson Dart has not fed him nearly as well as the little bit of shine he got with Jameis Winston. That said, I am going to go Wandale here. And actually, I may come off Lamar. You know what? Let's give the sim what it wants. I'm giving it a Mariota stack. I'm going to play Zay. I'm going to play Wandale. I'm going to play McLaurin. Try to use this as my way to save money. We have no Zach Ertz anymore. I don't think Ben Sinnott's really a play. But we could play like a free tight end. ETR love Fannin. We'll stick with Fannin here. Fannin is duck feet, seemingly benefiting quite a bit from the Shador experience. And Chicago's secondary is still not particularly good. Let's pick our defense out. Then we'll spend whatever's left on the flex. Can I go cheap? Should we play the Eagles shit the bed one more time? It is a zone-heavy matchup, which, again, I do think is part of why Hurts struggled last game. I'm going to go Raiders D here. That'll leave me 5,900 in the flex. Show affordable players. Brock Bowers paired with Raiders D. I mean, Genty would make the most sense here, but the sim hated Genty. Let's try it. Let's try it. All right, so the lineup here. Mariota single with McCaffrey, ATN, Zay Flowers, Wan'Dale Robinson, Terry McLaurin, Harold Fannin, Ashton Genty, Raiders D. This is a weird lineup here, but you know what? We didn't play Woody Marks. We didn't play fucking Kenneth Walker, who I think now I hate more than Woody Marks relative to the ownership. And we got a positive ROI at 43%. So final team here. Mariota, McCaffrey, ATN, Zay Flowers, Wan'Dale, McLaurin, Fannin, Genty, Raiders. Sims won't give you positive ROI. That's right. You were wrong. I proved the sim wrong too. But these are our must plays, guys. So you guys know how I feel about that. One last run here before we head over to the premium video. Please do hit that like button. Please subscribe. It goes a long way for me here. And shout out to all you guys that haven't watched these videos lately. Really, to see the numbers climbing at the end of the NFL season. Every other channel out there, you see the video views. It's not even disrespectful to them. You see the views go down, down, down because the people can tell that the motivation's not there. For me, hopefully you watch these videos. No matter what results I get, the motivation is here, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, ha ha ha. Gentlemen and gentlemen. The motivation is here. I keep showing up and doing the work. I am passionate about this. I'll keep working as hard as I can for you guys down the home stretch throughout the playoffs as well. No matter how small the slates I show up here, do the work as best I can for you guys. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe. If Stochastic is available, please check them out. Use the promo code SPLASH. If they're not available, pray for me because I will not be able to feed my family next. No, we'll be fine. But fucking please, can we get the site online? But if not, if it is online, use the promo code SPLASH over at Stochastic at 15% off. Join the channel too if you want to see the premium video coming up right now. Gamble responsibly, even though it's always money time here. Follow me at Chris Spags on the channel at Splash Play Pod. Check me out for NBA at 2 p.m. Premium stream starts in a moment here. I'll see you guys there. Enjoy your days. Good luck. Bye-bye.